Good morning, Wolfpack. Good to see everybody this morning. Welcome back. I didn't have any music playing. Sorry about that. But today is October 7th, 2019. I want to say good morning to Sean. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Mr. Q.
Good morning. Good to see you. Kiara Smith. Good morning, girl. Give me a shout out, Kiara.
Good morning.
Good morning to you also. Alyssa. Good morning, Alyssa. Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you, Alyssa. And Crystal from Hart, Michigan. Good to see you, girl. Good morning.
Good
Morning. And David, how are you?
Good.
Good morning. Did I miss anybody? I'm looking up. Kenneth. Let's hear a shout out from Kenneth.
Hi.
Hi. Did I miss anybody this morning? All right. Hey, I want to just kick off today by, oh gosh, I was looking at my backdrop. It looks backwards, so I didn't make the change to reverse it. The weekend was actually, the weather was decent except Saturday night. I was at a wedding in Traverse City and got rained down. That's always kind of a challenge. But how about you? Anybody have any news report about your weekend? Good, bad, and different? Come on, anybody do anything fun, go anything, or go anywhere, attend anything? Read a book?
I went duck hunting and played basketball.
Duck hunting and play basketball. Was it, now duck hunting season, is this the season for, obviously it is duck hunting season, but is there an ideal time in the fall or the spring, David?
I don't know actually.
Oh, good. Do you go on your property?
Yeah, we do. We go down from my house. Yep.
That's awesome. And do you, is it mallards or is it certain?
It's mostly woodies, but there's some mallards.
Some mallards. Those are beautiful ducks too, though, aren't they?
They are. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other hunters out there, either deer hunting or bow season's going on? Anybody bow hunters? Outdoorsmen, fishermen?
I go hunting. I also go fishing.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Did you go on any hunts this year?
Not this year.
That's cool. I know they have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did last year though. I've been trying to get school set up right now, so.
Yeah, obviously that's a part of the cold weather I embrace. I enjoy that. I don't go hunting. I know deer hunting is 15th of November. I go up to deer camp with my brother-in-laws, and I don't even go on a hunt. So I've never been out hunting, but I enjoy being around the guys and the group of people that hunt. So I never read in my growing up as a child, it was never something that our father did with us. We did other things, so I feel very blessed with that. So, well, anyway, anybody else want to weigh in about your weekend? All righty, I got to get a kind of remote control as I navigate here. So anyway, I want to, first of all, every Sunday night, I usually push out a group text to remind everybody of your day. I did not do that yesterday. I did not do it. I did it intentionally. I did it that way. But there are some new students who've been onboarded, and if you're confused about what your day is, what day am I coming, please stay on the line after today's webinar, and we'll clarify that, because I thought of about 6 of you that really didn't have a day. So, and there are also students in our virtual platform who don't have a day at all. Maybe you're remote, and we need to kind of schedule a time where we are connecting through the week. So make sure we do that before the end of today's webinar. So stay on the line if you're confused about that. For those who are watching the recorded version, make sure you reach out to me if you're unclear. I did get a text this morning about someone who's coming in today. That does help, but I also want to remind everybody there are probably right now 8 to 10 students who are on first level probation, which means they have not attended webinars, they haven't done the work, and they're not coming in face to face. So they've been notified or will be notified by the end of the day today. So I appreciate all those who are staying and maintaining your compliant piece. Now, remember, there's no excuse because we're here to help. All right. Now, hey, I asked the question this morning. Actually, I want to ask the question this morning. And I remember I went to a conference, and it was kind of cool. The facilitator said, "What is your superpower?" I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean superpower? I don't get it. Well, then after the next 15 minutes, the whole room was just in a roar of energy about things. If they had that special power, what would that be? And, you know, like we end up finding one, like I found out my superpower is if there was one magical power I wish I could have, is kind of what it means. What would that be? Well, that's really what it led to was a really innovative way about finding out deeper, what is it that you really, what are your true talents? So I'm going to present that as almost a theme this week, a superpower week. And I'll be showing a video tomorrow right off the bat about really finding that inner power. And it was a very powerful breakout session I went to that really got me thinking deeper. Seriously, this is only 3 years ago. Got me thinking deeper about what my mission is. What is that, those strengths I have and those areas that I want to really narrow in on and be good at. Because so often we focus on those things we're not good at. We go to basketball training camps and they find out, okay, we're going to make you look really bad and make you do these things you're not. That's good because you know where you got to go. But we so often fail to reflect on the things that we're good at. So I want you to start thinking deeper about that. So my funny superpower, like kind of humorous, not so much humorous, but like fantasy superpower is I'm a time traveler. I have the ability to go back in time and to relive history. So, by the way, I don't know why, but I'm fascinated by time travel. Anybody else fascinated by the past or time travel or future travel or going to the future or back to the future or forward? I am.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. So tomorrow I'll be kicking off a superpower video that actually is kind of funny, not funny, but it's ironic. It really gets into some of those items that you're good at. So I want to kick our piece off of that. All right, I want to spend most of our time today to have you thinking, also number 2, thinking deeper about empathy. Why in the world should you care about those around you and how can that impact others? And the importance of empathy in your life. And so much, many of us will just feel the world either is a big doom and gloom cloud or it's a silver lining, or regardless of how your attitude, your mindset is, the importance of empathy wherever you're at, and emotionally, physically, or mentally, the importance of empathy and how it can help you grow as a person. I want to end our webinar today with a short video that will kind of open up with some conversations tomorrow. So most of the time in our webinar today is really pushing out important information, and I want you to participate by actually clicking on these today. So even if you're watching this recorded version, make sure you click on it and literally view them with me. All right. Are there any wonderings or questions before we go any further into these 4 documents I want to share with you? All right. I want to thank some of you already because 2 of you have already participated in this and you've already pushed out an idea to me already. And Crystal, you being one, I just received a document this morning. Thank you. But for some of you, I may ask you to kind of hit the reset button to do this. All right, so let's do this together. First of all, I want everybody to take a look at an important reason why we had Jose on yesterday. We'll have a new, Kathy Surd will be on here this Friday as part of our weekend series. She'll be in the studio with us. Is really this, so people you meet are going to really be your huge influencers. And some of you already know, like where you're living now or the friends you're around now are really making you a better person. So I want you to click on the first document called People You Meet. And I'm going to step out 1 second, right there a second.
Jared, you getting up or what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a go get Chris in there. Get him. Is it that's a go get Chris or gonna go get him?
All right, we just had some face-to-face students pop in, and I wanted them to come on and join us right out there in the milieu. So, also, I want to keep this live document going because we're going to be building on this as far as books you read, places you go. What does it mean in books you read? Right now, we're just focusing on people. I talked about Matt Cox. I take Matt to work with me every day. So those are just joining us. Keep this in mind. Why that person? The more you reflect, we won't going to share out, but it looks like Austin and Alyssa, they have their name on the document, but didn't include a person. So David, PRG, Reshaw, Jasmine, Natalie, Skyla. So for anyone new, I'm going to insert a row below. Oops, oh snaps. Kiara Smith, this is something I don't think you were here when we first did this. is what we're asking people to do is to grab a cell. Thank you, Sean. He's jotting one down. Grab a cell and type your name in to start out with. I'm going to insert a couple more rows below. So, and really identify a person. I told the story about Matt Cox, who was tragically drowned with his grandpa, but had so much tragedy in his life, and I still carry him with me when I come to work. I think of him often to remind me the lessons he taught me as a student. So that was my person. So Kiara Smith, looks like you put yours in, Sean did too. So identify that person who may have had an impact your life or still does have an impact your life, how they may have transformed your thinking, inspired you to act differently, and also maybe to think about something different. The more we're able to create and generate that person, reflect on that, you're going to see a transformation yourself, I guarantee you. So I want to revisit that one, and that's kind of, I don't want to say thank you, Kenny, for popping in your name on there. Think of that person and spend some time today sharing out a little bit why, because be prepared. We want to share this document out here real soon. So going back to our platform here today, people you meet was the first thing. Anybody have any wonderings or questions on that piece? Don't be shy. All right, I'd like you to try to finish that if you would today. All right, number 2. This is vital. I have 3 people in on their day today. This is called your daily schedule. And this is the concept. Good morning, Alyssa. And let's see, Austin, you're with us. Good to see you guys. This is the schedule I really want to hammer out with you. You notice there's something in red that I want to kind of bring up to your attention. When those are red are the day-to-day groups. So you're coming here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are things that you may get tied into, connected with. But really, are you establishing a good environment for your online learning? What does your day look like? Is the day dictating you, or are you dictating the day? And if I'm telling you right now, if you're not making progress in your schoolwork, the day is controlling you. Because you haven't set up a schedule, and it's okay if you haven't, because I'm here today to say, let's start today. So this is the first conversation or second area that I'm going to really cover with you today. Alyssa, Austin, and another Alyssa, we're going to go over this today. What does your schedule look like off campus? What does your day look like? I need help. So this is your way of gathering help. So you're able to now have a copy of it, and it's your very own copy, not share with anybody else, and you can start plugging. I put some suggestions in there, but you can kind of create your own. I'll help you with that process when you come in your face-to-face. All right. 2 more, and we'll wrap up today. All right, 4 for 4 Wendy's. Now, it's something that just happened by accident last year. And I like to have a little fun with our virtual online learning. Matter of fact, had some people were a little disappointed they didn't get to partake in donuts or pizza, and you guys did. Right? Well, that's too bad. We're the Verts. We don't get to really do a lot of the activities they do here on face-to-face. So when you come in, we're going to have a special day. So with that, here's something else we're going to have that making you a virtual student that makes learning fun. And keep in mind, not every day is Disneyland, and learning isn't fun every day. But there is some work we want to kind of put in front of you to give you some goals. This is the 4-4 Wendy's agreement. Crystal has already submitted hers. I'm just going to ask Crystal to look a little deeper at the measurable piece. I've gotten yours, Crystal. But you each have your own copy here. When you come in, I'll be asking you this week, next week, what are some short-term goals you have that you want to start shooting for? And some short-term goals we want to kind of establish for you academically and personally. The key here is this: if you attain these goals, and I agree, and I sign off on it, and you achieve it by a deadline, we're going to put a date on there. You can have it typed out, and we'll print it when you get here. But measurable goals academically. For example, you want to finish on all 4 classes, the end of the marking periods, the end of this month. I want to get 80% done on my modules of all my courses by the 31st of October. That's measurable. If I agree upon it, you agree upon it, I then go and I do Wendy's 4-for-4 combo for your lunch on your day here. So I love doing this stuff. So this is a student idea, by the way. This is not my idea. This whole idea evolved last year from a virtual student, and I love it. So this is one of many things that we have are generated by you guys and Dave. So any thoughts on that? And I know I didn't get it. Goals are smart. They're specific. They're measurable. And I'll get into the breakdown of what a goal really looks like. But for now, something you truly can measure. I want to pass all my classes. Well, yeah, I can measure it, but it's not something we can constantly measure on a daily basis. We only can check at the end of the marking period whether you're successful or not. That's the only time we can measure. So something that's measurable as you go. I want to read one chapter out of my book a day. Now that's measurable. I can write down at the end what I read. By the end of the trimester, I've read a whole book. Okay. Any final thoughts with 4 for 4 setting goals? I just want to announce today that that's a goal. That's one of the activities I'll be working with you when you come in here today. Or this week, excuse me. All right. Go ahead.
It says I have to request access to get into it.
All right. Anybody else have that same thing? I have to request access?
Yep.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay. Thank you. Click on request access. It's just an extra step on my part. I'm sorry. I thought I had that all cleared up. I didn't. I gave permissions to the globe, the world, but just click on the blue button and then it will come back to you. Refresh it and probably after the webinar and it'll be ready. I'll just check my email after this. Okay, David? Thanks for telling me that.
Yep.
Anybody else? That's a good point. Any document that says request access, I go into my email and I allow you to come in. So I don't like that, but I'll do it if I have to. Thanks for reminding me of that. Okay, so request access. I thought I cleared it up, but I may not. IPP form, last thing for today, last item I have. As you can see, I made copies. I want you to make your own individual. I do that, by the way. I found a little trick how to figure that out 2 years ago. So you can have your own copy. This is not a shared document. This is between you and I. All right, pre-plan, project plan overview. This is what you have to have if you're interested in doing it. Even Crystal, I hope you don't mind. I think we have already mentioned it, but English 9, I've kind of told her to hold off. We're going to do a poetry piece on this. I think she started doing this. This is what Crystal will fill out when her and I carve out some time later to talk, either video chat or face-to-face. Really basically says, it's 4 simple boxes. When I say simple, I don't mean that insulting to you, like you should do it. But I wanted to keep it simplistic, is give me what your project will cover. For example, Crystal, I hope you don't mind. Crystal loves poetry. I want to challenge Crystal reading certain genres of poems. I want to have her look at slam poetry as a form of an art form. There's other areas in English 9 or 10 that we want her to explore with the poetry piece. So her overview project is maybe she will create a poetry book of her collection of her poems with the different aspects. That would be Crystal's project overview. Target possible standards, she doesn't know. So in Crystal's case, maybe she will have all English 9 standards. So just put English 9 in there. Maybe Crystal wants to do U.S. history, so she'll put U.S. history, because I taught a course to 8th graders called America's Story, David, similar to the title you have, America's Story Through Poetry. Can't be done. So, third part, the end state final product. What will that final product look like when you're all done? That I will read my poems in front of a video camera to be presented at a community show. I will have a poetry reading, inviting people from the community to come in and hear my poems. I've done that with students. That's been powerful. What community partners do you want your project to be a part of? Now, keep this in mind. Some of you are going, what is this all about? I thought I got Play-Doh, right? If you want to take a course out of Play-Doh, and you're going to have to earn it, you're going to have to really go through the grind of doing some Play-Doh classes, and you want to create an opportunity to do a little special project, this is the time. And all projects have to have a community base. Now, you do some legwork and research on your own. I can offer ideas too. Maybe there's a community partner out there. Maybe I know Crystal right now wants to learn from other authors. Well, I have 2 authors, friends of mine who taught at the college who are now retired, who would love to sit down with Crystal and talk about how to frame your craft and becoming a published artist. So that would be suggestions. Maybe somebody you want to meet, Stephen King. Well, why not? Why can't I throw Stephen King in an email, say, would you do a Zoom meeting with us, Stephen? I got a student who wants to become a better writer. So think of anybody, or anybody around the world that we can try to reach out to. The worst thing they could do is say no. So let's throw that out there. Somebody locally, somebody you know that would help you with this project. Okay. We are near the end of time. That doesn't sound right. We are near the end of time. That does not sound right. Okay. We're near the end of this webinar. What questions or wonderings does anybody have? I've been babbling way too much today. Open the floor up to you guys.
I got nothing.
Thank you, David, for weighing in. Anybody else? Any thoughts or questions? Jasmine? Sean, anybody? All right. I want to wrap up our webinar today, and I am requesting that you do stay to the end of this piece, and then we'll conclude our webinar. I will open up with this. The importance of empathy. Why in the world should I care? That statement alone is lack of empathy. But at the same time, being careful about being too dependent, of being too empathetic. I can really be more of a barrier if I'm caring too much, because I'm not taking care of the most important person. In this case, would be you, yourself. So this is the importance of empathy, and I really would like actually more of a discussion item that would kind of really open up our conversation tomorrow, along with, I want to talk to you also about our superpowers. This ties in perfectly with that. So I'd like to end today's webinar. Thank you everybody for joining. Don't log off yet, please, until the end, the conclusion of this. It's only 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, but I'd like you to take a look and we'll have a conversation about the importance of empathy. Let's lean in and watch.
Importance of empathy. We all live in our own version of reality, a reality that is limited by our senses, our temperament.
Oh, sorry.
And our own experiences. It is the only reality we will ever truly know. But it is crucial to our personal development, our relationships, and to society itself that we make the effort to try and experience other people's realities as well. This is done through empathy. Simply stated, empathy is an active attempt to understand another person's perspective, their emotions, and in essence, their reality. We are social animals, and our ability to communicate and understand each other's emotional states is key to maintaining our relationships. So it is little wonder that the ability to empathize is hardwired directly into our brains. One area that assists in this process is the right supramarginal gyrus, which helps us to distinguish our own emotional state from that of another person, and plays a key role in our ability to observe and assess what other people are experiencing. Studies from Neuron Science Journal suggest that we have systems of mirror neurons in our brains that cause us to mimic the actions of others. That is why when we see someone yawn, we will often yawn in reply. And when we observe someone experiencing joy or pain, we experience the same sensation to a certain extent. But these reactions are primarily driven by subconscious reflexes. In order to be truly empathic, you have to actively think beyond yourself and your own concerns. You can develop this empathic skill by practicing some simple habits. Be observant of others. We tend to spend the majority of our day dwelling on ourselves, caught up in our own daily routines and digital distractions. But taking the time to observe others around you is a good first step in developing your empathy. Watch and wonder. Try to focus on the person's state of being rather than categorizing or labeling them. Ask yourself, what kind of day are they having? How are they feeling? Challenge yourself to genuinely care about their well-being. Curiosity about others is the first step to expanding your empathy. Use active listening. During a conversation, especially a heated one, most people formulate their response before the other person even finishes their statement. This form of communication is more verbal combat than an exchange of ideas or opinions. Avoid this reflex by slowing down. Rather than rushing to reply, take a moment to consider the other person's statement. Ask follow-up questions to better understand what the speaker intended. Try to understand their emotional state and the deeper motivations behind their statement. What life experiences led them to their current worldview? Remember, you don't need to share someone's opinion in order to understand it and acknowledge it. And listening will help inform and expand your own opinion. Open up. Learning more about other people's experiences is a key element to seeing the world through someone else's eyes. But it is also important to open up about your own feelings and experiences. Empathy is a two-way street that at best is built upon mutual understanding. Through a combination of uncovering the deeper motivations of someone else's position and expressing our own underlying concerns, we often discover a shared commonality, even with those who hold different beliefs than ours. Through the practice of keeping an open mind, empathy helps us challenge prejudice, find commonality, and expand our moral universe. Without it, we are apt to label people outside our circle as the other, the problem, or the enemy. These labels draw lines in the sand that prevent us from moving forward or growing. It cuts us off from the realization that the human experience is a shared experience. We have much more in common than we think, and are really just seeing small variations of the same reality.
I like the impact of those little tests that they challenge us to do. So maybe take one of those today and give it a shot. And I challenge you to just practice that mindfulness. Have a great day, everybody. Hey, one final thought. If you need to see me, please text me, send me an email today. I'll carve out some time. So if you need an hour of me or a half hour later on today, let's reach out and we'll talk. Have a great day, everybody.